Hey everybody. Oops. Let me make sure my Welcome to Waffle Talk. We're doing a special. We're going to record 2 episodes right in a row today. So, we're going to talk a bit about the PAX South 2019 episode that I guess took place Friday. So,
Mm-hmm.
Shauna, can you recap that one for us?
Yeah, so the title of the episode Three Ships was pretty accurate. It revolved kind of around the three ships in Jarl Axel's like mini little fleet, the Heartbreaker, the Hellraiser, and the Eyecatcher. When we open up, Paulton takes Simon to one of the ships to the carnival, and Simon had the short-lived kind of jading experience being in the circus, which was not as fun as he thought it was. And then Strix finds out kind of the hard way that Waffles is in heat and is acting aggressively toward everybody. And conveniently, there is an owlbear on one of the ships, a male owlbear, and Strix has one of those like figuring out the birds and the bees at the zoo moment of like, oh god, there's owlbear, these owlbear, like what's happening? And then Diath has a little bit of a relationship with Alice, one of the other like Waterdeep City Watch people, with like she obviously has interested in him, but it's kind of like not evident with Diath, and they kind of have like a little successful stakeout in the city, and then it concludes with Evelyn on a date with Joe Axel.
Mm-hmm.
That next episode
Mm-hmm.
touches on as well, so that's where we ended it. It was
Mm-mm.
fun, and it was things that I didn't expect to be said on a show.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Dear Lord.
So let's see. Look at Trupa. No, I am not streaming to the wrong channel. Ravenna, hello. Oh, you like the background? That's just fun factoid for you. At PAX South, WebDM Pruitt. He's part of the WebDM channel. He's one of the hosts of the shows. He got all of their autographs, and he sent me a picture of them and was telling me
Oh.
about getting to meet the Waffle Crew. And I said, hey, do you mind if I use your photo of your autographs as the background? And he said, sure. So there you go.
Nice.
And
Nice.
yeah, he said they were all super nice, and he was really pumped up about it. Let's see. Oh, Sima, owlbears, yeah. Does the owlbear? Oh, that's a good question, Look at Troopa, because I remember we knew the title of this episode, I think last week, and we talked about it was called Three Ships.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, all right, so wait, 3 ships, right? And
Yeah.
I guess the third ship was the 2 owlbears.
I mean, that's less of a ship and more of like a battle at that point.
Which was Waffles and Throat Ripper.
Ripper, yeah.
Yeah.
What a great name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Waffles, Throat Ripper. Exactly. I loved how. Oh, good point. All right, Ravenna.
Yeah.
I love how Chris and Anna seem to have different ideas of what happened that night.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is, when we in the beginning of episode 126 in the chat, some people were kind of like bothered by that. I think they felt like Chris was saying what happened there when Anna didn't agree with it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by the end of the show, it had gotten ironed out where it was like Evelyn just slept.
Yeah.
Slept, yeah.
She hung out with Jarl Axel.
I think part of the problem there was in this episode of the PAX South show, they weren't clear on what happened. They kind of.
Yeah.
I think the fact that they had like the pre-written stuff from Chris made it a little weird.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of like assumption in there, like, do you agree to go with him? Okay, then this and this and this happens,
Yeah.
And Chris had. It was weird, right? Because this PAX South show, Chris was not there, right?
Yes.
So he just gave the group envelopes, and each of them DM'd the others these little scenarios that Chris made up, kind of like choose your own adventure things.
Yeah.
And some of the time it was like Chris would write down stuff. It's like, you go here, you do this, you feel this, and then, it was a little weird. It was like the DM was pretty much telling them what they did just in a few instances. And it was a little like, I don't know, it wasn't like bad, but it was just different, and it was kind of jarring.
It's a little yeah, I appreciate that they do this amount of like experimenting, like the last couple like live shows, and just like it's kind of how much the DM has, and then like the push and pull between them, and then they're DMing themselves and the other characters.
Yeah.
Sima says, I still don't like that Chris keeps saying that Evelyn saying yes was so surprising. Jarlaxle just asked if she wanted to go dancing, and that yes counted all the way. Like, all the way.
The way. I'm like, yeah, I was a little jarred. Like, she wakes up. Yeah, I was a little bit like, whoa.
Yeah.
Next episode, yeah.
And to be fair, Jared roleplayed Jarlaxle really well. Like, he made a very convincing argument. Hey, why don't you come dance with me? You know? Yeah.
He did. It was weird. Yeah, I'm not in the chat right now, so I can't see the auto mod stuff. Yeah, when you assume, you make an asset of you and me. Yeah. So let's see. One thing that we kind of established on this show was Paulton is now he's now officially famous in Waterdeep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's doing sold out shows.
Mm-hmm.
So that pretty cool.
It was, I guess they were sort of building up to that in 124, but this felt like a good time that they made it official at this point. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And and he has Handrew helping out in the performances.
Yeah, the one-man band kind of thing he has going on.
And he bought, I don't know if anybody caught this, the Wine of Radiance.
Yes.
Which was grown in the pools of Radiance, which is a reference to, I think it was a Forgotten Realms book from way back.
I think there was a video game,
and it was a computer game.
Yeah.
And it has a pretty famous piece of art on it by Clyde Caldwell that I love. Yep. Like, I never read the book, I never played the game, but I'm very aware of Pools of Radiance because my friend Stan used to play it all the time and tell me about it. And like, it was just like it was like a little Easter egg, and it makes me want to go Google the Pools of Radiance because I don't remember what they do or any of that stuff. But it was like, oh, they make wine out of it. That's pretty interesting. Like, what do these pools do? Like, I don't remember what the pools do and why. Because I think there was also even an adventure that you could run built on that too. But I don't remember anything about it except the awesome like cover art.
And I think that was totally ad-libbed by Jared, I do believe.
Really?
He said it. So, yeah, and then he said it, and then he looked at the audience like, anybody?
Yeah, Jared has an incredibly deep understanding. Like, you know, as author, but he knows a ton, like lore and stuff.
He played Diath with Holly on his channel in some like old D&D video games.
Yeah, it was. Cool. I think it was Baldur's Gate 2. I think. Yeah.
I think he did a Ravenloft game as well. Yeah, actually, really? Yeah.
That's awesome. Jared's awesome.
He is.
It says Paulton also invented the Molotov in D&D.
Yes.
Ravenna liked the Pools of Radiance references and explains that the pools have various effects. Flan had a corrupted one that makes things wither. The game, if I recall correctly, you could cleanse the pool. I see. Oh. That's a pretty cool adventure. I'm going to dig that one up. Some of those old Forgotten Realms adventures are awesome. Like way back when I wasn't into the Forgotten Realms, but the hobby store near my house had the worst stuff. So it was like I just had to pick whatever I could find. And there's the Sword of the Dales trilogy, and there were these little modules. All three were linked together, and they were like $6-7 each. And so I ran them, and they were freaking awesome. Especially the second one, Secret of Spiderhaunt, was freaking awesome. So some of those are definitely worth checking out. They're really good. And Lucas says that there was a Pools of Radiance tie-in during the Tiamat storyline of the Adventurers League as well.
Really?
I didn't know that. To check that out. Is that during Rise of Tiamat, I guess? So yeah, there was the Wine of Radiance. Simon wants to be a carny.
Yes.
He wants to be a carny.
Must be a carny.
So he
Yeah.
went to be a carny.
At the
And
Sea Maiden's Fair.
And, he ended up getting a job
I mean,
shoveling animal poop.
entry level position, if we don't go straight to the. I imagine that's a job that he was probably used to in Barovia because of waffles.
You know,
True.
that's
Like
true.
you're-
He's probably an expert on owlbears. He lived with an owlbear for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would probably be an authority on owlbears. So would Strix.
Yeah.
I don't know about Strix. Strix has been feeding waffles nothing but pies, so I don't know how much he actually knows about owlbears.
Is Strix crazy?
What question?
I
Maybe a little bit.
You know what I mean?
she had a strange upbringing, so it's understandable.
That plus seeing your friends die multiple times.
Yeah,
I think it probably does mess you up a bit.
yeah,
You know?
Do you think she
So-
legit went crazy during those 50 years in the woods and she's never fully recovered? Is that possible?
Probably a bit.
maybe.
And I honestly wouldn't blame her if she did. So,
Mhm.
you know.
Especially because she made friends with, I think, Baba Lysaga and
Oof.
was taught how to take baths of blood to extend her life.
The goats, yes,
Yeah.
many goats.
I think she's like a crazy person. Like for real, right?
Hey man.
Like, she's legit like the old lady in the woods.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she's
yeah.
definitely.
Just, the cat lady,
That's definitely the archetype that she's kind of come into throughout the
Yeah.
show.
Luca Troopa is digging into old Forgotten Realms material to research for an adventure module. And apparently Umberly used to have a manatee face.
What?
I don't know. All I know about Umberly is there's that one 4th edition Lair Assault that's freaking awesome with the wrecked ships on a poster
Yes.
map. And they're all squashed together. I think it's called Talons of Umberly. And I think Chris actually made that one.
Those are really good. I love
That's
those.
all I know about Umberly. I can never. Forgotten Realms lore does not stick in my head. It just does not.
I know that she's like a sea goddess, and like sailors do like offerings to her before they go on voyages and stuff. You know.
Sima says that Paulton's game was actually kind of sweet. Diat's game was a lot of fun. Strix and Evelyn's games were very interesting. Strix had immunity from the Shadowfell insanity because of her own insanity. Is that true? When they went after Paulton in the Ring of Winter arc.
I think she
that
rolled
true?
well, I think. And that's kind of how they rationalized it, I think. I think she got a good or
Well,
that I think I think it was also that it was fear and it's just like
Yeah. It was fear, and Holly was just like, "Oh, okay, so how I always am."
like this is not it's like getting like inhabited by one of those like tomb spirits and like the tomb night. It's just like sometimes you get it where it's like I guess I always act like this. It's like cool.
Yeah.
Big
And
change.
sometimes you get Wongo.
Sometimes you get manga. They didn't really. Did the group interact with the spirits in Waffle
No.
on the
No.
show?
They
No.
kind of bypassed them, I think,
They did.
entirely. Yeah,
That's
the
too bad.
tomb, most of the tomb, they kind of
Yeah.
bypassed
They did get to go in the tomb a little
a
bit.
little bit.
It's true for a wee bit.
A little bit. And they got to one of the most complicated rooms in the whole thing with that panel.
Oh yes, that room.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd love to see Evelyn in 2E Lathander cleric robes. I keep
yeah.
meaning to. I'm like way behind on everything, but one thing I really want to do is write up a quick guide to Lathander. I want to go through old products and learn about Lathander, and put it all in one spot because I just don't know much, and I feel like I should, and because I really want to understand the Lathander Amonitor thing as good as I can, so I can try to guess what Chris is doing here with this split. you know, with the Lathander, a Monitor kind of
Yeah,
going on.
definitely look into like the 4th edition stuff in that case, and some of the later 3rd edition as well.
Gonna go through everything,
Go for it,
all of them,
all of it.
whatever's on the DM's Guild that I can get with my store credit. All right, what else do we want to know about here? I have a huge list of things, and we're running low on time already.
Yeah, one thing I thought is like, remember we were discussing like
Mhm.
there's the 2 ships, right? The 2 Waffle Crew ships that are currently like kind of at a stalemate.
Yeah.
Feels like they got a little bit of a prodding, like this specifically this episode, because it's like Evelyn's going on dates now, and Diaz has like someone that's interested in him now.
Oh man, not even just did Evelyn go on a date. When
Yeah.
Nate went to go to the bathroom,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
she was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I used to think there was something there, but
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So it's kind of like,
Oof.
yeah, do it, or there's possibly
It's
it can
over.
move on. You know,
Yeah.
it's not static. Like
That-
the situation isn't static.
That would be depressing. If Evelyn was just done with it.
I mean, she can't wait forever for him. You know.
hmm I feel like, it feels like Chris is putting the pressure on them big time. But even though he is, nothing is happening.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
He's been doing it all season, and we're like 30 plus, and
He's
it's
been
nothing.
Chris has been like upping the, especially for like Evelyn, like upping the ante to Paulton. It's like, here's like this rando like mermaid. Here's this
mermaid,
here's this hired gun. Here's this guard. Here's Omen. And now here's Charlax. Also, it's like you can only go so, like, this is maybe about as high on like the pecking order and like Forgotten Realms, like power level, power struggle and
The
stuff like that.
Steelio
So it's
girl
like, yeah.
charts.
It's pretty, like, the difference between like Paulton and Durlassively is pretty staggering as far as like, yeah.
All right. Yeah, like it's been 126 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and nobody has nothing.
Spoilers for next episode. Nothing happens
Yeah.
with that. Just
Yeah.
for people watching.
Yeah.
Next episode is nuts. Next
Yeah,
episode.
it's nuts.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I'm falling behind here. Sima says, I need to know more about this god. I couldn't find anything when I tried looking stuff up. Yeah, it's probably in a whole bunch of source books. I'll have to dig it up. Ravenna, the automod is really going nuts. What things are you people writing in here that the automod keeps blocking?
It's like it's very selective. I get to, like, it's like,
It's
black,
not,
or like if anything has like the word ass in it in any ways, it kind of like gets upset.
not that bad. I'll tell you, somebody had a username on Dungeon Academy that was whoa.
cool jams.
Cool jams is what we called that person. Rena. Well, Rena will be on in a couple minutes. Strix's immunity to Shadowfell insanity was only really immunity because what she rolled on the table was a personality trait she had already. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it just seems like fate is conspiring to say that she's nuts, so it doesn't.
Hey, man.
Let's see. Evilton. Oh, Ravenna agrees that Evilton is almost dead. Yes, R.I.P. Evilton. Yeah. Paulton's just not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Paul's got a son he has to raise now. Like,
it was funny. I was actually when we were at PAX Unplugged. I don't remember her name, but I know Aya had brought some of her friends with her. I was talking to one of her friends about Paulton and Evil, and I said, the only time Paulton seems to do anything is when she's talking to some other guy. And Aya's friend said, that's every guy. Every guy does that. I was like, really? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. So Paulton is like every other man.
I think it's also like the amount of time that's been happening. It's just been like, come on, you have to get you have to be tired of this at some point, or it's just gonna have to go away. It's like it's a long time of being like jealous by like getting more and more eligible, like prospects.
Let's see. When Anna destroyed my life. Oh, wow. 20 charisma. Yep. Evelyn
Yeah.
has a 20 charisma, so that's gonna happen, right? Ravenna says Paulton still has not stepped up.
God.
Very true. Very true. But
Mhm.
boy, I'll tell you, on this live show, Nate was great,
Mhm.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
Pretty
Just-
good.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just like so impressive. He's such a good freaking player now. It's just insane. Like I get so proud when I see him kicking butt, like dropping a counter spell like it's nothing. Like when they in one of these jeez, we didn't even get to it yet. Diath's story where there's the drow killing people. The drow
Mhm.
goes to cast darkness, and he's just like, oh, counter spell. Yeah. Just
Screw that drow.
dude's awesome.
Someone
Mhm.
should kill
Yeah.
him.
Yep.
Next time, Sima. Next time, Lathander himself is going to start flirting with Evelyn. I don't know about that. Look at Drupa. If you're putting it like the power level of people hitting on Evelyn getting higher, I'm afraid of when Elminster shows up. Elminster definitely loves the ladies. I'll never forget the
So does
picture.
Mert, actually.
Yeah.
But
Oh boy.
Elminster, in the second edition Drow the Underdark book, there's a picture of Elminster in a hot tub with a Drow woman. So, this dude he's a major player.
Nice.
Evilton needs to cure wounds. Yeah, at this point, the onus is on Paulton, I think.
Yeah.
It's only so long that Evelyn can, yearn.
Yeah.
Now there's other fish, right?
Yeah.
And Ravenna, oh no. Ravenna says, oh god, next episode, Dinosaur Girl is going to come back to talk down to everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the one who doesn't like.
Yeah. So,
That's Alisanda, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Should be interesting.
One thing I was someone desperately needs to have like the birds and beasts talk with Strix. Just I think Strix is there's weird.
God.
It's hard when the anchor point for like that stuff is like giving birth and then being consumed. That's a rough place to kind of have that be your starting point.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, real quick, we got a couple minutes left here. We should get through the rest of this episode. So Diath's story. He was approached by Sergeant Alice Kelladonna, I think, and she was investigating elves getting murdered. This is a side quest right out of Dragon Heist, like right out of it.
Yeah.
The Drow Saloon Zybrindis.
Yeah.
You just pulled it right out of there.
Who, people who watch DCA, it's Gnarl from the Xanthar's Layer's brother. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So they slaughtered Saloon Zybrindis.
Yeah.
With
That's what he
Molotov
deserves.
cocktail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he blew up.
They blew up his smoke powder. Yeah.
It's just ashes.
I mean,
But I believe that Diath kept his pistol, right?
Yes.
So there is a gun back in circulation.
there's
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Oh, DM Dave says that the ball is definitely in Paulton's court. It's put up or shut up time for Paulton. Well, he's got all those fans now.
It's true.
I don't know, maybe he'll, I don't know.
Who can say?
You know what I mean? They have so many options now. Maybe we'll go into a phase where each of them starts seeing some other person, but just kind of making each other jealous with that person constantly. Maybe that's what
Is this what tier 3 adventuring is like?
just
Good Lord.
Ravenna says, minor note, Elver Quist is a liquor, not a wine. Elver Quist? I don't know what that is.
Not sure.
Let's see. And then I think Evelyn's was really short, right? It was just the Jarlaxle meet.
Yeah.
The Jarlaxle meet and greet.
Oh, yeah, but like this is where he like admits we found out that he was behind the Father Sunbright stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. He admitted, that's right. He
Yeah.
admitted that he killed Father Sunbright because he hates a Monitor. That's what he
Yeah.
said, right?
Yeah.
He hates a
William was
Monitor.
surprisingly okay with.
It's a flimsy. Yeah, that's a flimsy motive, isn't it?
Hey,
I'm
whatever.
not buying that story. Oh, I just don't like a Monitor. So.
No, I don't buy that either.
It's not.
Yeah.
I definitely think that the new high priestess like owes him some favors or something. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, Elverquist is a liquor, and it was mentioned in the murders. I'll have to write that down.
I just looked it up. Evidently, it's a elven liquor made from sunshine and rare summer fruits.
Oh.
Ah.
Mm.
Look, Drew, but isn't a Monitor Lathander these days? Well, from what Chris has explained, they're sort of two separate creatures.
Depending, two separate, same. One is an aspect of the other.
But the Church of Lathander in Waterdeep is now switching over to worship a Monitor instead of Lathander, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Although, based on what we've seen, it seems like they're changing back to just Lathander now that Sunbright's out of the picture.
Yeah.
And then there was they had a little time, so they did a couple extras.
Yeah.
So there was Name a Baby.
Yep.
From a couple in the Church of Lathander, and they named it Hope Knapsack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where knapsack came from. It's better than crapsack. So
That's true.
Warrington Munt wanted to install a cannon.
That's a very like Mary Poppins thing. Since those
it is.
The Commodore that sits on top of the neighbors with the cannon.
Mm-hmm. And then we learned that the pie sales are slow.
Yeah.
And so they came up with an idea for healing pies.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get some good berries from their neighbor Fala, and they're going to try to make some good berry pies, which I thought was an awesome idea. And then, so it kind of ended on, we'll ask Chris how that works.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how 125 ended, and 126 sort of began.
I'm wondering if part of the fact that, because it seems like every time they bring up Strips like cooking pies, it's like we have tons of cricket pies. It's like I wonder if kobolds have a lot of money. Kobolds probably don't have a lot of money.
All right, so we're going to wrap this one up. So people in the chat, what's going to happen now is we're going to go off for a couple minutes. I'm just going to add Rena in and put on my new overlay, our new costume, and then we will be back. So do either of you have any final thoughts on this show? What'd you think overall?
It was a fun little one. I really enjoy like sort of less high stakes downtime type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was definitely needed in anticipation of what happens in Tuesday's episode.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What do you think, Shauna?
I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a lot. It was very strange, but I loved it. I also like the fact that like it seems like you can tell that Chris is having a lot of fun with it, and it's nice seeing like there's a lot of like DM like enthusiasm like with like the whole setup for it. So that was part of it I liked.
All right, everybody, we'll be back in a minute. If you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on episode 126. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for all of your comments, and we'll be back hopefully in about 3 minutes, depending on how slow this thing is. Okay. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.